In 2013, the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, Bureau for Children and Families, was awarded nearly $9 million to implement the Safe Schools, Healthy Students initiative.
Part of what we're trying to do with this initiative is to make sure that we build a framework using best practices that has been proven to work in communities, that the communities can know and implement and have those practices and set up the framework for access to behavioral health, drug and alcohol prevention, increase in families, and community involvement.
The initiatives are broken down into 5 elements: promoting early childhood social and emotional learning and development, promoting mental, emotional, and behavioral health, connecting youth, families, schools, and communities, preventing and reducing alcohol, tobacco, and other drug use, and creating safe and violence-free schools. The funds received have so far been used to set into motion these initiatives in 3 counties. Learn how they have helped our families, schools, and communities. Greene County, Ohio. Most of us think of toddlers and preschoolers as innocence personified, and we want to keep it that way. But as Greene County Safe Schools Healthy Students leaders understand, even our youngest can experience real trauma.
They'll fall out, they throw themselves on the floor for anything minor. It could just be from, a child taking a toy away from them.
They come in the class and they'll say, my mom and dad are fighting again, and my dad left the house, my dad's not at home. And I think they come here and they feel safe.
We also have a lot of children of trauma. We're encountering that more and more with the heroin epidemic. I can't tell you how many first and second graders know how to administer Narcan because they've had their parents OD in front of them and they've had to be a part of trying to save their lives.
These factors drove Greene County Educational Service Center to deploy early development mental health expert Grace Shezo.
Young children are impacted by trauma in a variety of ways. So they have the experience. A lot of kids are processing the world through sensory information primarily. So how they're impacted by trauma, we as adults can't always predict. It's important that as adults working with young children that are trauma exposed, that we are able to provide the types of things that we know build resiliency.
She trains teachers, models novel methods for reaching and helping children at this stage of development, and consults on the most challenging situations.
Some of the children are so angry, and it's mainly because of all the things that are in their lives right now, and they're trying to deal with them and cope with them. And we have now learned some ways to relate to them better and maybe to get some more information from parents, and then to help the children find that self-control that they are going to need when they get to school.
Kai would, get physical in school, and now he's learning ways of not doing that. I'm working more closely with his teacher in just trying to find techniques both at school and at home that we can do the same to keep it consistent. He really seems to thrive on a routine, so having that in place has really brought him from going into a tantrum because he doesn't know how to react to something into helping him understand the behaviors he's having and the emotions he's having so that I can better keep him focused on not overreacting.
What we're looking for is good social emotional wellness and foundations for all children. The science, brain science, neuroscience, and implementation science all points us to the importance of the first 1,000 days, 3,000 days. We know that brains are developing at a rapid rate, and the experiences that children have during that developmental stage makes a big difference in what parts of their brains are accessible and fully developed for academic and other success.
And for kids whose parents are part of Greene County's largest employer, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, there are special stressors no matter their age.
You can have a family well-balanced, and then that wife or that husband can deploy for 6 months at a time or even a year, and then the child doesn't understand at a young age what's happening, what's going on, where's my mom, where's my dad. We need those services so we can kind of keep the child well adjusted as well as the families.
The main thing is to try to get our staff the tools they need to really look at children from a different perspective instead of labeling that child as bad.
That same attention to the unique needs of the community drove every decision about how to benefit most from the grant.
We were able to expand school-based mental health services. We were also able to add the early childhood component, which was new. Nobody else had been doing that in this region, so we were really thrilled to expand down to the preschool and early childhood level.
It's wonderful for me as the superintendent of schools to know that I've got that resource, and then what they do with our staff members is just it's tremendous.
The last 3 years, I think the pulling together of our community partners has been key, and through that, we've been able to really jumpstart our early childhood mental health consultation program.
Serving the social, emotional, behavioral needs of students is the greatest challenge facing schools. Many of our children's families are embedded in the opiate epidemic, very, very challenged. These kids are showing up in school, they're really struggling. What we're finding out is that the solutions are very clear from the neuro and the brain sciences, and it works.
Results in Greene County are promising and critical. There have been nearly 1,800 consults in early learning environments, and over 90 parents and professionals have been trained in best practices. Almost 600 students have benefited from school-based mental health care, and elementary students have learned how to focus on classroom learning through PACS.
The Safe Schools Healthy Students grant was able to give these grant communities some tools to better look at those behavioral health needs and find out strategies for addressing them. The state management team has really been helpful in helping our communities identify their needs as well as meet their needs. The community management team has been highly effective in making sure the work got done, because one person can't do it alone, and really in building a system of supports with schools and community agencies so that students, staff, and families have healthy experiences in those communities.
We brought all aspects in meeting the child's needs, to me that's the most important part of this grant, is that we covered every area in order to meet the needs of the child.